Hello again, and thank you for watching this video on HUD's Housing Opportunity for Persons with AIDS, or HOPWA as we call it. My name is Gayla Bynum, and I'm a program analyst in HUD's Center for Faith-Based and Neighborhood Partnerships. If you don't already have a copy, the slides of this video can be found on our website at www.hud.gov/offices/FBCI. In efforts to bring more information about HUD programs to you, the faith and nonprofit community, we have partnered with HUD's Office of HIV/AIDS Housing to tell you who they are and what they do. This video includes an overview of the HOPWA program, resources available for persons living with HIV in your community, and ways you can get involved in the fight against the HIV epidemic domestically. Before I introduce our guest, we first have a few words from HUD Secretary Julian Castro.
Hello everyone, I'm HUD Secretary Julian Castro. I call HUD the Department of Opportunity because housing is a powerful platform to spark progress in people's lives. A good home impacts nearly everything around us, from the schools our children go to the safety and well-being of our families. So HUD is committed to supporting the health of all Americans, including those living with HIV. Our Housing Opportunities for Persons with AIDS program is the only federal initiative that provides housing and supportive services to low-income individuals living with HIV. We know that someone experiencing homelessness is 16 times more likely to contract the virus. So we're partnering with leaders at the federal, state, and local levels to help end homelessness in America. And we work every day to fight housing discrimination committed against people living with HIV. HUD's also doing all that we can to prevent the spread of HIV and to ensure that every American living with the virus receives the care and the treatment that they need. Each year, approximately 50,000 new HIV infections occur in the United States, a rate that's remained steady for nearly 2 decades. That's a number we simply can't accept. And I'd like to urge everyone to take part in National HIV Testing Day on June 27th. I hope you'll take advantage of this opportunity to get tested and to get information on how to protect yourself and the people that you care about. As President Obama has said, our nation can forge a future where no American experiences the pain of HIV and AIDS. And I look forward to working with each of you to help realize the goal of an AIDS-free generation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for those words. And now with me on the video representing the Office of HIV/AIDS Housing is Benjamin Ayers, Acting Deputy Director. Ben, thanks for joining us. Can you give us a background information on HOPWA, when it began, how many people it serves?
Yes, thank you, Gayla. So as you'll see on slide number 3, the HOPWA program was established in 1990 through the AIDS Housing Opportunity Act, and it was implemented in 1992 through its first appropriations, providing funds to 38 jurisdictions. Now, the HUD Office of HIV/AIDS Housing that administers the HOPWA program was established in 1994 with a mission to ensure that all HUD programs and initiatives are responsive to the needs of persons living with HIV and AIDS. And the reality of the HOPWA program in the beginning years was to make sure persons living with HIV and AIDS had a place to die with dignity. You know, an HIV diagnosis back then was really a death sentence, and up until effective medications became widely available in the mid-1990s. Now, the HOPWA program provided housing and supportive services to persons living with HIV, kind of as an end-of-life treatment when many found themselves unable to work and homeless or at imminent risk of homelessness. And the program, you know, we've steadily grown over the past few years, and now we have funding in all 50 states and Puerto Rico through either formula or competitive funding. And last year we were able to assist 52,000 households through housing and supportive services.
How has the HOPWA program evolved since it was established in 1990?
So the HIV epidemic and the HOPWA program kind of evolved together with the introduction of the new HIV medications. You know, as individuals were living longer and were able to manage their health and have more productive lives. So we've kind of moved away from primarily end-of-life assistance to a more long-term assistance with supportive services. to help sustain stable housing and provide some paths to self-sufficiency. For instance, we've just incorporated an employment component to the program in an effort to assist clients in moving towards self-sufficiency.
Thank you, Ben, for that basic overview. Tell me, why is stable housing so important to people living with HIV, and what can our viewers do in their communities to help people living with HIV find suitable housing?
So, Gail, stable housing is important for persons living with HIV for a number of reasons. So stable housing helps individuals connect to care, really helps them stay in care and continue their medications. It reduces the risk of ongoing HIV transmission. It's extremely difficult, if not impossible, for homeless people and unstably housed individuals to fully participate in care. Research has shown that a homelessness or unknown housing status predicted not entering HIV care within 6 months of diagnosis, and we know that this is a pretty critical time period for newly diagnosed individuals. So on slide 4, the HIV care continuum chart, it kind of shows a snapshot of how people living with HIV in the U.S. are currently engaged. It moves from the first step of being diagnosed with HIV to the ultimate goal of viral suppression. And so as you can see, there's a lot of work that needs to be done in order to get the percentage of people who are virally suppressed, increased. And this is extremely important because we know when people reach viral suppression, the likelihood of them transmitting the virus to someone else is reduced by as much as 96%. Targeted HIV prevention strategies and early antiretroviral treatment, or ART as we call it, it has the potential to really dramatically reduce new infections and promote optimal health outcomes for people living with HIV. And housing plays a key role in that. Housing status is a stronger predictor of HIV health outcomes than individual characteristics such as gender, race, age, or drug and alcohol use. In fact, CDC researchers have said that this is a really important finding as it indicates that housing itself may improve the health of people living with HIV and AIDS.
Ben, we know that HOPWA is funded through a formula and competitive grant process. Can you explain more about this?
Sure. The formula funding awards account for 90% of HOPWA funds, and they're provided to states and metropolitan statistical areas as determined through a formula in our statute. And these states and metropolitan award recipients can in turn fund what we call project sponsors, which are local organizations that carry out the activities on the ground. Now the competitive funding awards count for 10% of HOPWA funds, and those are advertised through a notice of funding availability where applicants can apply for the funding competition. But since 2008, most of the HOPWA competitive fundings have been used or designated for the renewal of expiring permanent supportive housing grants.
Ben, we know that the Obama administration established a national HIV/AIDS strategy. Please tell us about the strategy, its goals, and the important work it's doing for persons living with HIV/AIDS.
Sure. Our office uses housing as a platform to work toward the goals in the President's National HIV/AIDS Strategy, which is updated for 2020. The strategy has 4 major goals: to reduce new HIV infections, to increase access to care and improved health outcomes for people living with HIV, and reduce HIV-related health disparities and health inequities, and then to achieve an overall more coordinated national response to the HIV epidemic. Now, although this is a federal plan, the federal government, we can't achieve these goals alone. We really need the help of governments, private industry, nonprofits, and community and faith-based organizations at all levels. So we're really talking about, national, state, tribal, and local here in order to achieve these goals. It's on the ground that this work is accomplished, and it's on the ground where the strategy's implementation improves the lives of Americans who are impacted by HIV.
Ben, where can stakeholders learn more about HOPWA?
Gayla, viewers can find all of our information up on the HUD Exchange. And if you take a look at slide number 6, it highlights the HOPWA page on the HUD Exchange. And here you can find the web links to the program, the regulations, the guides, webinars, and all current news and announcements. I'd strongly encourage everyone to take a look at that website and sign up for our listserv through HUD Exchange as well. To do that, just click in the email updates in the top right-hand corner, and then choose HOPWA or any of the other programs you're interested in receiving updates for. And we distribute information about funding opportunities and a variety of other information on our programs through this listserv.
Is there any new funding that our viewers can apply for? Also, who is eligible to apply?
So generally, we release new funding announcements for the HOPWA program every few years when funds are available. But for viewers who are interested in getting involved sooner, they can reach out to their state and metropolitan area award recipients or grantees. As kind of said a little bit before, these grantees often conduct their own funding competitions and award money to local organizations to carry out those activities on the ground. You can also find grantee contact information up on the HUD Exchange. Just select your location and make sure you enter the HOPWA program from the drop-down menu. And also, please carefully read through the grant announcements or the NOFAs to find out who's eligible to apply and what the grant requirements are.
Are there any other opportunities for our viewers to assist in their communities?
Absolutely. Oftentimes faith and nonprofit communities will assist with move-in items like furniture and other household things, small appliances, or personal hygiene products. Since most of these items can't really be paid for with HOPWA funding, the local organizations really heavily rely upon donations to assist new residents in setting up their home. And also don't forget about outreach efforts, in providing emotional and social support. You'd be surprised at what giving somebody just a little bit of hope can do. You can really change someone's life. So invite them into your faith community, and although there might not always be grant money available, there are still other ways to help those in need. So reach out to your local grantees and get involved.
We understand that National HIV Testing Day is held every year on June 27th. Please tell us about the significance of that day, what HUD is doing, and how others can participate.
Absolutely. Thanks for bringing that up, Gail. So the National HIV Testing Day is just one of many HIV awareness days that go on throughout the year. And these HIV awareness days really provide an opportunity to educate community members about HIV, to encourage communities to take action in response to HIV, and really raise awareness all year long. Now, National HIV Testing Day is a perfect example of an awareness day that calls community members to action. After all, you can't really know your HIV status unless you get tested, right? So now HUD is joining many other communities by recognizing this awareness day with a community HIV testing event. Now, HIV testing really shouldn't be limited to just once a year, and the numerous HIV awareness days that are provided throughout the year, those provide ample opportunity to share this message and raise awareness in your communities. We always encourage communities to get involved with an HIV awareness day, whether it's a day for testing, youth, or another awareness day that really connects with your community members. And churches and other places of worship can participate in an HIV awareness day event that's already planned in their community or commemorate the day in some other way. A few ideas for getting involved include writing something on the church bulletin or announcements, handing out flyers in the lobby, posting a badge on your website, or even using social media on the day of the awareness day to start up a conversation around the epidemic. Now, HUD's Office of HIV/AIDS Housing, we will be tweeting from our Twitter account at HUD_HOPWA throughout the year on HIV awareness days, and viewers are encouraged to join us on social media by tweeting or posting on Facebook. And also don't feel like you have to create your own message. Retweets and reposts are a really terrific way for spreading the awareness, and this is also a pretty wonderful way to engage youth, who now account for 1 in every 4 new HIV infections. I would recommend viewers visit the AIDS.gov website, which is shown on slide 7. And that website will provide more information on the various HIV awareness days. And they also have some pretty good ideas for how to get your community involved.
Thank you so much, Ben, for sharing this information on the HOPWA programs. Before we wrap up this video, I wanted to highlight some resources available to learn more about HIV and AIDS awareness. The following websites listed on your screen will connect you with the HOPWA website, the HOPWA Twitter page, and additional HIV resources. This concludes our video. Thank you for watching and have a really great day.